Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Davo from Archon Esports, bringing you another 1v1 StarCraft 2 cast today. This time, our map is Metalopolis. It is a ladder game, and it is between two really good and really well-known players. Firstly, in the top of the screen, we have our red Zerg, who is none other than EGIdrA, but you guys probably know that because you've seen these guys talking already. So, yep, as I say, it's EGIdrA in the top of the map, and then on the right-hand side of the map, we have EGIdrA. Awesome. Now, these two players are very good. They're very well known. Yeah, and they have some fairly decent traits, actually. EGIdrA is known for being one of the politest StarCraft players in the competitive circle at the moment, and EGIdrA is known for BMing the hell out of people. EGIdrA is 31 and he comes from the Ukraine, and EGIdrA is 22 and he resides, well, I'm not sure if he resides, but I know that he comes from the USA. At least he is based in the USA. He is an American. So there we have it, and it'll be pretty interesting to see what happens between these two players, as this is a ladder map, and it is actually a ladder game, which is pretty cool. It's not often that you see two really players of this stature come out and get placed against each other on ladder like this, because some people would love to see this in tournaments, not just in ladder, but hey, this time we're lucky enough just to have it on ladder, so that's really cool. You may see here that I have a brand new kind of box thing that I put the replays functions inside. I just cracked that out, and I hope it looks good for you guys. And there's also a new little replay, there's also a new kind of cap at the beginning of the video as well, just to make everything look a little bit more crisp, and hopefully, you know, enjoy, help people enjoy the experience or whatever. You know, I like to try and put my own little mark on things, that'd be nice. So here we have EGIdrA being as annoying as humanly possible, trying to stop that hatchery go down from EGIdrA. Only stopping the hatchery going down for a little while, and then it goes down. Sorry for EGIdrA, but that's fine because he has already expanded. Many Protoss do like to do this at the moment. Usually if it was a map where they could block in all the way, such as Cloud Kingdom, they could block in several buildings and just leave a gap with a Zealot, and that'd be a very secure block in. But no, unfortunately, Metalopolis has a very wide berth on its natural, and by the time you've blocked that in, it'll probably be around the 7 or 8 minute mark, and your Zerg opponent probably would have creamed you by then. So EGIdrA doing the professional thing and just putting some buildings around his ramp instead, which will help negate EGIdRA's ability to move around inside of EGIdRA's base, and of course that is a bonus. Another queen coming down here ready, and this is something that really defines pro players. They know what they're doing, they get ready. They put a queen down by a hatchery just so it's ready for that very first inject, which will undoubtedly come as soon as the hatchery is done. Nearly, there it is, there we go, awesome. And we have another third on the way here, and I do know that Zerg players do like the map control that is given to them by a Protoss early expand, so they do take advantage of this, try and push it into a nice macro game for themselves, because that is where Zerg is the strongest, by taking their third reasonably early as well. Well, I mean, I'd call a 5 minute third pretty early, but for Zerg that's probably bang on time in this matchup. EGIdrA is probably going to be starting, yep, his warp gate research right about now, which of course will help him reinforce much quicker. It is worthy to know that EGIdrA actually controls both the watchtowers in the game so far. He knows exactly what his opponent is doing. He will see this Zealot on the map. In fact, if you look at the mini-map right now, this is EGIdRA's vision. He sees pretty much everything in the north east side of the map at the moment, and that has to be held to a great advantage. EGIdrA will be scouting this hatchery. You can't blame him, it's fairly standard to get a third. EGIdRA could have been fairly ballsy and put a hatchery here, but instead, you know, putting it here, and I can't blame him for that, because a Protoss timing attack after warp gate research is done can be a little bit nasty to deal with as a Zerg player. So I can't blame him at all. No. We do have a Void Ray on the way for White Ra. I'll just stick the production menu up right now so we do know exactly what's coming. And that does look like it will definitely be coming out to kill this Overlord, or at least it will be scouted by the Overlord in any case. And it'll probably be going to harass EGIdRA's line with this. And we have a Roach Warren going down now from EGIdRA with a layer on the way as well. That's the good thing about Roaches for Zerg, actually. Roaches do allow Zerg to transition very, very nicely. They're a nice solid unit. They do a reasonable amount of DPS, but above all, they're actually fairly difficult to kill. They're very, very armoured, and they're pretty good stuff. So we do have this Overlord does look like he'll be meeting his fate, as well as this Queen will be meeting hers at the hands of this Void Ray if she is not careful. Luckily she is careful and pulls further back into the base, getting a nice transfuse off the other Queen there. Oh wait, no, they just swap positions. That's cool. It doesn't look like this Overlord will be going down right now as well, and White Ra will be... Yep, White Ra will be scouting the fact that his opponent is actually getting a layer, and of course the layer will mean that much more tech can be coming. These Void Rays are going to want to move in now and try and do a little bit more damage, but with a sneaky transfuse on one of the Queens there, it does look like these Void Rays won't actually be able to do too much damage without having to pull away. Besides, there is a Spore Crawler coming out here, and the Void Rays do not want to be around while the Spore Crawler is about. Again, a fairly signature move in this matchup. White Ra getting his 1+ weapons fairly sharpish as well. And another Void Ray joining his fleet too, very useful for a number of things. Sniping Overlords, which are fairly important. You don't want to be losing too many Overlords, or they count towards supply, and they can be a pain to rebuild. Now, nearby we do have a herd of Zerglings who have just recently got their wings, which don't actually make them fly, but they could. That'd be interesting in Heart of the Swarm, wouldn't it? This Stalker desperately trying to get away, but unfortunately it doesn't look like he'll be able to. The Sentry also trying to get away by slamming down a force field there. Unfortunately as well, that's the Zerglings do claim a Stalker and a Sentry, so that's a fairly good ratio there. I think White Ra did lose a fairly, I think it's a fairly even trade-off, let's put it like that. So we do have White Ra coming out here, and he does look like maybe he's going to start harassing his opponent's third base here, but he will want to be very, very careful. Now, Void Rays do quite a bit of DPS, but they will want to probably be heading back now to his base in order to help defend, as there are quite a lot of Roaches on the field. One thing about EGIdRA's army is he doesn't have too much anti-air on the go, but that doesn't matter because he has a lot of ground units and a lot of firepower. Something that is very good against Roaches, however, is an Immortal, but I mean, one Immortal versus this many Roaches, perhaps not. I mean, the Void Rays are desperately coming back now to try and help defend White Ra's third base. Cannons coming up as well, but the cannon only getting one shot off before getting completely annihilated by these Roaches. If only Roaches could jump, they'd probably take out the Void Rays fairly easily. And we have more Zerglings on the way from EGIdRA as well. Also, we have a Spire going down for EGIdRA as well, and that will mean that he'll be able to counter these Void Rays with Mutalisks pretty quickly. He's also getting his 4th base, feeling a little bit confident. I can't blame him. He's doing fairly well at the moment. Depowering these gateways from White Ra as well, who will desperately need more gateways in order to carry on after his 3rd base is up. So we get the 1 armor coming out now from White Ra because his opponent is adopting a fairly aggressive play. And what's this? We do have Mutalisks now on the field, and this could be very, very dangerous for White Ra's Void Rays indeed. It does actually look like EGIdRA is pretty much ordering a kill command on the Void Rays, and there we go, the Mutalisks have found them, and it does look like the Void Rays will get taken out very, very quickly indeed. And goodbye Void Rays. I'm afraid the winged beast that are Mutalisks have completely destroyed them. Nonetheless, we do still have, well, we have a Phoenix coming out now. When probes are nicely lined up like that, things like Mutalisks are fairly good. They have a kind of a splash damage. It's more of a bounce damage attack. That's absolutely fine. These Stalkers and Phoenix do look like they'll be warding off that army from EGIdRA now. I say army, it's more like a squadron of winged beasts. Again, also known as Mutalisks. And of course we have the Thermal Lance on the way for EGIdrA, who is actually transitioning into a more stable, kind of reliable build. Well, I suppose that was his overall plan. He hasn't, you know, it's kind of hard to... Don't worry. Anyway, we have our Thermal Lance on the way, and it does look like EGIdrA is probably getting more than one Colossus, or at least you would hope. Now that he knows that EGIdrA has a Spire on the other hand, it would be very easy for EGIdrA to get some Corruptors out, and of course that could be very dangerous. But another thing that could be very dangerous is the amount of Zerglings that are coming in for EGIdrA right now. These Mutalisks are probably just going to snipe that Colossus fairly quickly, or indeed the best matchup in the world, Zergling versus Colossus. And down goes the Colossus right now. These Zerglings are going to eat this Immortal alive, because that is what they do best against Immortals. Immortals are not being very good against Zerglings, unfortunately, and EGIdrA is really getting quite thoroughly smashed here at the moment. Unfortunately for him, EGIdRA's creep spread is also looking pretty good, slowly coming across the map, and it'll be only a matter of time until it is next to his opponent's base. EGIdRA taking his 5th base as well, constantly macroing up. Really nice play. He has actually been at 200 supply, or at least he's had the capacity to be at 200 supply for quite a while now, seeing as we are 15 minutes into a game. That is not amateuristic play at all. These Phoenixes do look like they are going to eat it in layman's terms, but it does look like EGIdRA is just going to go for a big push now into his opponent's base and probably kill off his opponent. Unfortunately, I'll be very shocked if EGIdRA doesn't GG, and there is the GG, well played from EGIdRA. And that was a fairly cool game. Awesome, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Again, that was a ladder game, and wow, EGIdRA was getting a fleet beacon. Just a little bit of an insight to how awesome this guy is. He was after a mothership or carriers or something like that, and that would be pretty freaking cool. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a nice day. Enjoy playing StarCraft, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers. Bye-bye.